Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also turn on that bell notification so that you know exactly when I post my next video. Today, I just wanted to chat about this word confidence. I think that it is something that all of us struggle with. We've either struggled with it in our lives and we've been able to somehow master it and become better at it, or it's something that you are still struggling with now today. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time, I'm Tammy. I'm from Tailored Heart. You can follow me on Tailored Heart on Instagram, and then I also have a website that you can go, which is tailoredheart.co.za. On there I have all things design related, life related, and fashion related. So if you're interested in any of those things, please be sure to go check that out. I'll leave it linked below. I think that it's a really important topic to speak about because it's definitely something that I've struggled with. It's definitely something that I have not always been, and there have been a couple of lessons, if I could say that, in the short amount of time that I've lived, that I have learned. And I get quite a lot of questions on my Instagram of girls just asking, how do I stay confident? How do I become confident? And I really just thought that because it's Women's Month and we're celebrating women, I think that there are so many amazing confident women out there, but I also think that there are so many of us who are struggling with that, and we want to become confident. We want to become independent women, and we want to not let the fears and the insecurities that we have actually hold us back. And I really just wanted to take this video to really just not only chat about confidence and how you can be confident, but also just to make you realize that you're not in this alone, and that there are so many other people, men and women, that are going through the same thing and who are struggling maybe with the same insecurities as you. So I thought that the only thing that I can do is just share my experiences and just share with you a few tips, a few little bits of advice that I can give you on how you can be confident, and how I've learned in the 32 years that I've been alive, on how I've become more confident and how I'm still learning to be better. Again, I just want to mention that these are just my own experiences, my own tips and advice. I by no means claim to be a expert on the subject, but all I know is that I can give you things that I've learned and how possibly it could help you as well. So the number one thing that I've learned is really to own my emotions, whether that's good or bad. I think that becoming confident, or learning to become more confident, is realizing that you will have successes in your life and you will have failures in your life, and owning both of those confidently. I think that sometimes we can, when something good happens in our lives, we can tend to downplay those things, and we can be like, oh, I could have done better, or we tend to always just be so hard on ourselves. And I think that becoming more confident is also realizing that the small victories are the things that ultimately take us to the next step. And so I think that owning those successes, owning the things that you've maybe gotten better at something, or there was something that you struggled with and now you're not struggling with it anymore. I think that realizing that, owning it, telling yourself well done, is really good for your mental health, and it was really good for mine. Not always downplaying the fact that I was maybe good at something or I achieved something. The other thing is also not letting your failures define who you are, define your identity. I know that I used to do this a lot when I was younger. I used to always be so hard on myself, and every single time I did something, I would just be like, oh, you're a terrible person, oh my gosh, you're such an embarrassment, or you're not good enough. That was always a big thing for me growing up, is that I just always felt like I was never good enough. No matter what I did, I could have done an amazing job at school or accomplished something really great, or 10 people could have told me that, oh wow, you did so amazing, and then one person could have said to me, oh, that wasn't that great, and I would take the one person that said the bad thing and I would let that sink into my heart. And I think that that sometimes when we rely on people's opinions of us, then we also kind of let that define who we are. And I think that if we can celebrate the small victories and also own the failures, then I think that it doesn't really matter what other people think about us, because we've already established in our hearts and in our minds what does success mean to me and what does failure mean to me. A success to me could be completely different to somebody else, and a failure to me could be completely different to somebody else. So it really is just a personal thing. And I think that if we can own our emotions and we don't let our emotions control us, then I think that we're off to a good start in becoming more confident. I think that the key thing to remember, or the key thing that I had to remember, was that when you are not confident, when you're not feeling good about yourself, it's usually rooted in self. It's usually rooted in me thinking about myself. And I think that what I kind of, as I would be in more rooms with other people, be in social settings, I realized that I was thinking about myself and, oh, how are people going to perceive me? What are people going to think about me? Are they going to like me or whatever? And I had to just come to this realization that everybody, if I'm thinking like that, everybody's thinking like that. Everybody is thinking about themselves. It sounds bad and it sounds like, such a selfish thing, but we as humans, we can be really selfish. And I just realized that when your emotions and your identity is rooted in not being confident, it actually means that you're being more selfish. This is what I had to realize about myself. The more I would be down or not feeling good enough, it would just be me concentrating on all the things that I was not good at. And it just landed up being me. And that didn't do anything. It didn't do any good. And it would never make me feel better about myself. When I would walk into a room or when I would leave a room, I would just constantly always be thinking, oh, I don't think that I said the right thing there, or I don't think that I did the right thing, or I should have said that, or I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have met that person, or whatever the case might be. We've all had those weird, awkward, maybe first encounters, or maybe we have given an impression that we maybe we thought that the first impression could have been better. But at the end of the day, it's because all we were doing is thinking about ourselves, and we get into our heads so much. So I think the most important thing for me was realizing that when I walk into a room, is knowing that every single person, like I have a story, every single other person that is in that room, they have a story, they have their own accomplishments, they have their own failures, they have their own goals. I think going into a room thinking about other people completely changes your perspective, and it takes the focus off your situation, takes the focus off who you are and how you're gonna do to, I wonder how that person's doing. I wonder if that person's having a good day. I wonder if maybe the reason why they seem a bit awkward or a bit uncomfortable is because maybe they just had a fight with someone. Maybe they have had a hard day at work. Maybe they're going through something, just like I might be going through something. I think that we as humans, we're so quick to judge, and we're so quick to just be like, oh, that person's so rude, or that person didn't greet me, or whatever the case is. And we don't realize that just as we're entitled to our own feelings, so is that person. The next thing I learned was knowing my identity. I think that is probably the biggest thing, is knowing my identity and knowing that my identity actually isn't in myself. For those of you who do know, you know that I'm a Christian, and my faith is something that's really important to me. And I know that I grew up and not a confident young woman at all. As soon as I met Jesus, and as soon as I knew that my identity was rooted in him, something shifted in me and something completely changed. And I'm not saying that it was night and day and it was just this, complete change. It took a process. Knowing that my identity is in Jesus really it lifted such a weight off of my shoulders, knowing that my identity is rooted in him and it's not in myself, it's not in other people's opinions of me, it's not in my successes and it's not in my failures, but it's in him. And so I can walk into a room knowing that I don't have to prove myself, because God's already accepted me just as I am. I don't have to worry about saying the right thing or doing the right thing just in case, just so this person can like me better or think better of me. Because my identity is in Christ, and so I know that it doesn't really matter what anyone else says, that I'm His and He is mine, and ultimately that's the core of who I am. The next thing I learned is that, being confident, it comes with age sometimes. Yes, I know that there are some incredible young women, and I know some incredible young women and young men that are just confident, and they just have this confidence oozing out in them, and that's so amazing. But for me, I know growing up that wasn't the case for me. I had a very low self-esteem, and that only happened for me gradually as I got older. And I just realized, it does come with age, and don't be so hard on yourself. If you are young and you're 18 and you're unsure about life, and you're looking at somebody that is in their 30s, and you're looking at them going, wow, they're so amazing, look how they're doing that. That's okay. They have many years ahead of you where they have had to learn and grow through things. So it's okay if you're not feeling confident. It's okay if you're not feeling good about yourself. All you need to do is just have more grace for yourself and keep being open to growing and learning and doing better. And eventually, you're gonna look back on your life and realize, wow, what a long way I've come. I think, don't compare your day one on your journey to somebody's year 20. It's always good to have goals and to always look up to people. I have so many people that I look up to, and incredible young women and men as well that are just so amazing, and it's so good to have those people that you can look up to, but don't let their life experience ultimately is what maybe led them to become more confident. Don't wish your life to be like somebody else's. You only have your experiences, and so just take it one step at a time. It's not about arriving, it's definitely a journey, and wherever you are, there's always going to be something to learn, and you're never going to fully be confident, because at the end of the day, we're human and life happens, and just as you think you know something and you're accomplished in this thing, then there'll be something else that you need to learn that you don't know. So that's just the beauty of life, is just realizing that it's okay not to have it all together, and be confident in that. Like, be confident in the fact that things are going to always be changing. There's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be a prettier girl or a more good-looking guy, or someone that maybe you wish you had their life. Comparison is the thief of joy, and we don't need to compare ourselves, and we don't need to compare our journeys to success or our journeys to being more confident towards other people, because that does nothing. So I just wanted to take this next time to maybe just give you some practical tips on what to do when you walk into a room and you are feeling anxious and just awkward, and you don't know what to do, and you don't want to go to this event, or you don't want to go to this wedding, or wherever it is that you might have to go to, job interview, whatever it is. What practical steps can you take that can actually help you become more confident? And in doing those steps, you can build on those things. And as you go to your first job interview, as you walk into a room, as you go to an event, as you go to a wedding, whatever it is that you might be doing, that it becomes easier for you the next time. Being confident doesn't mean that you don't have doubts and you don't have worries. Being confident does not mean that you have it all together. Being confident does not mean that you're just perfect at everything. Being confident means that you're okay with there being mess. You're okay with it not being perfect. You're okay with things not going the way that they should, and just kind of picking yourself back up again and moving forward from there. So with that being said, I just want to give you a few tips on what I've learned and what I've just found that helps me in these kind of situations. Sometimes there have been times when I've had to go to events, or I have to go to photo shoots, and I have to meet people that I've never met before, and I have to walk into a room by myself and not know what to say or what to do. And to be honest with you, I've actually avoided a lot of things because I just didn't know what to do or what to say, and I was just so awkward that I would just say, oh no, I can't make it, or I can't be there, or I wouldn't go to an event because honestly, like, I feel like sometimes it's so awkward and I don't know what to say, and there's so many cliques and everyone's just talking to everybody and I don't know anyone, and I would just avoid it until I just got to a place where I was like, I can't live my life like that. I can't keep on, you know, not showing up to things just because I'm not confident or because I don't believe in myself. I need to put myself in situations where, yeah, I am maybe a bit uncomfortable. I think it's really important to recognize or know why it is that you're in the room. So for me, sometimes it would be going to a photo shoot and I would have this anxiety because I don't know anybody. And then secondly, I would have this insecurity that I'm not a real model, I'm shorter than the average model, maybe I have bad skin that day, so I wouldn't be confident about my skin. I'd be just critiquing everything, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know anyone, and I'm relatively new in this industry, and it would make me feel so just so tense. Then I just realized, you know what, if you recognize why you're in the room, then you can own that situation. And you know what, I realized, okay, cool, well, I'm going to this photo shoot firstly because I got asked to be in this photo shoot, so clearly somebody recognized my value in this capacity. They like my look, they've seen what I can do, and they've invited me. I'm here because I'm already valuable. I'm here because I'm already accepted. I'm here because I've already earned my position. I don't have to try and earn anything. I don't have to try and prove myself because I've been asked to come on this photo shoot, so therefore I deserve to be there. And then I think that what gets a lot of us, you know, maybe feeling a little bit awkward and a little bit anxious is, well, when I walk into the room, what do I say? Like, I don't know anything. I don't know anyone. I don't know the first thing to do on how it is that I can make this situation less awkward. And I think the second thing is, well, when I'm in the room, what do I say? Who do I greet? When I do greet the person, what's the next step? And I think that, again, it's taking that focus off of ourselves, taking that focus off our own insecurities and putting the focus on the people in the room, becoming aware of your surroundings, becoming aware of what's happening around you. A smile just honestly cuts the tension in a room. And sometimes when it does feel like that, I've walked into places where it's just felt so tense and no one's smiling and everyone is just so uptight, and I think a smile can just ease something sometimes, and it can really do the world of good if you just smile and look happy. And I've had to train myself in that because I can tell you now, I am not a natural smiler. I actually have a natural very serious face, and I've had people ask me many times, like, are you okay? Are you mad about something? So I had to like think, okay, cool, smile, smile, smile. And it just eases that tension, especially when there's people that you don't know. Connecting with the person that you're talking to. So ask them about themselves. That's the whole point of like making it not about you and making it on them. So asking them, how is it that they fit into the situation? So if I went to a photo shoot, I'd be like, okay, cool. How do you know this person? Are you the stylist? Are you the photographer? Whatever it is, like, get to know them. Where do they fit into the equation? And I think that once you both realize, okay, cool, well, I'm the model, okay, I'm the stylist, whatever it is, then you guys can connect on that, or you can chat about that firstly. Always focus the conversation on the other person, because not only does that take the focus off of yourself, but it allows the other person to speak, and people love to speak about themselves. So if you give them that opportunity, then it's gonna go well. And if you have these kind of things to ask them in your back pocket, then it will at least let the conversation flow. It doesn't mean you have to ask the person all of these questions. It just means that you have some questions in your back pocket that if the conversation is, you know, kind of getting a bit stale, then you can, you know, just keep it going by asking these certain things. But maybe once you've connected with a person on a specific subject, then just keep talking about that and keep connecting. If you find something, common goal, a common thing a common interest that you're talking about, and you found this connection, I think that's the first thing, is really just finding that connection. Depending on the environment, ask that person what it is that they do for fun. What do they do that besides, maybe if you're in a work environment and you're at a work function, like what do they do on their weekends? What do they usually like to do when they're with their friends? Allow that person to express their interests to you, because then as they're doing that, maybe you have a common interest and you can say, oh, me too, I also like to have braais on the weekends with my friends, or I love to go shopping, or whatever it is, allow that person to really express what they're passionate about. And lastly, I would just say, if you really want to take it to that next level of conversation, and of course it also just depends on where you are, what your environment is, but ask that person what their passions are. What is their motivation? What do they love doing? Where do they see themselves in the future? Yeah, so I think that connecting with somebody is really important. I think that when there's connectedness, that really builds your confidence. And ultimately, I think that what builds confidence is really human interaction. It's doing things and doing something that scares you. It's doing something that maybe is out of your comfort zone, that you're not used to. And I think that sometimes we want confidence, but we're not willing to do the work, or not willing to do the things that get us to that confidence. And sometimes it's hard. It's not easy. It's not a 1, 2, 3 step program for you to get there. Yes, there are things that you can do that can help you on the journey, but ultimately you have to put the work in. You have to do it. You have to put yourself out there. It's not just gonna come. It's not just gonna happen. You're not just gonna be in your room one day and then you're just confident. I do know that, like with me becoming a Christian, that did give me a boost of confidence. I think the boost of confidence was in the fact that my identity was in Christ and it wasn't on myself. And I think that that is the whole key to being confident, is not having confidence in yourself. It's about having confidence in God, and it's about having confidence in who He is through you. And I think that leads to a successful life. I think that leads to a life with more confidence, and that you can really just find true happiness and true fulfillment. Well guys, I'm so glad that we could chat about this, and I really hope that you enjoyed this. I know that this was a bit of a lengthy one. It was just a deep, real, meaningful chat, and I know that we're gonna have many more of those. So if there are any other things that you want to chat about, if there are any other questions that you have, or any other things that you'd love to chat about on here, please let me know in the comments, and I would love to do that. That is one of the main things and one of the main reasons why I created this YouTube channel, is because I want to create space for conversation. So once again, thanks so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.